I'm thinking about you today as you take the test, and there's one thing I wanted to review in this video to help you. I wanted to go over the resolution of the story a little bit more closely in this quick lecture. So I'm looking at the text here, and I'm looking at specifically when Medea is deciding how to get her revenge. I'm going to read aloud. She determined to kill Jason's bride, and then, but she would not think of what else she saw before her. Her death first, she said. All right, I'm on this paragraph that is like the second to last. It's kind of confusing. What? Medea's got two thoughts in mind. The first one she can face in her mind. She can say it openly. And Hamilton, the author, is saying it. We know what she's going to do. She's going to go kill Jason's bride. There's a second thought that she wants to do. She's not ready to face that in her own mind. And the audience isn't ready to face this. Now, the honest truth is the Greeks know it's coming. This is no surprise. This is like Romeo and Juliet. They know how the story's going to end. So it's playing with this moment that she's planning to kill her kids. That's what that's saying there. Again, it says, her death first. And that's the bride. But what else is she thinking? Oh, well, it's her kids. Next passage. She took from a chest a most lovely robe. This she anointed with deadly drugs, and placing it in a casket, she sent her sons with it to the new bride. They must ask her, she told them, to show that she accepted the gift by wearing it at once. The princess received them graciously and agreed. But no sooner had she put it on than a fearful, devouring fire enveloped her. She dropped dead, semicolon. Her very flesh had melted away. I know, it's so dorky when I'm reading the semicolons aloud, but I'm always astounded about how, like, Hamilton uses them so masterfully, and I'm trying to learn. Anyways, you're not being tested on semicolons. Let me move on. This scene reminds me of something from Hercules. Before you take the test, turn and talk. And what is a moment where there's trickery, conniving, mendaciousness, somebody planting some type of poison and tricking somebody to put it on? Think about that before you take the test today, because you have a few questions that ask you to make connections back to Hercules. Next passage. When Medea knew the deed was done, she turned her mind to one still more dreadful. There was no protection for her children, no help for them anywhere. A slave's life might be theirs, nothing more. I will not let them live for strangers to ill use, she thought. Now, Hamilton's giving us more of a rhetorical trust in Medea's here. Or at least the narrator voice is that way. But if we read other versions, and I told you, I've read a lot of versions of Jason and the Golden Fleece. Heck, John Gardner, we're going to read his book Grendel later in the term. He wrote a Jason and Medea, and he wanted to make it as epic and as Homeric in lines like the Odyssey and Iliad. He wanted it to be an epic poem of equal nature. And he's playing with this big moment the entire time. The play Medea does as well. And what we actually watch is Medea toil with this decision and also tell people she's going to do it. Not tell Jason, not tell King Creon. But she's telling other people. She's explaining why, but she's more tricking herself into this rhetoric. She is not crazy. She is not mad. No, this passage, though, will end very simply. Hamilton is just going to share her logic and then say, when Jason came full of fury for what she had done to his bride and determined to kill her, the two boys were dead, and Medea on the roof of the house was stepping into a chariot drawn by dragons. They carried her away through the air, out of sight, as he cursed her, never himself, for what had come to pass. It's very subtle. He never takes any responsibility for this. He's the opposite of Hercules, right? Now, Hamilton didn't tell us how she's really getting away other than that there's some chariot and dragons flying her away in the sky. What's actually happening here, and the other versions describe it, and the Medea play does too. she gets into a chariot brought by Lord Helios. She is saved by God interference. She's being taken safely to Athens, and King Aegeus has decided, if you can make it to my place, I'll show you hospitality and safety. You don't really need to know that for the test right now. Don't worry, I didn't put it on there other than just the detail. How's she getting away? And the fact that she is able to get away kind of says something, right? So let's go back through this last 2 pages. Medea is tricking with mendacious, conniving strategy. She's using a robe to kill not only the bride, but also a cloak of her own logic, saying that I should kill my children. It's not revenge for Jason, she's saying. It's to protect those kids from a terrible life. I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. And then she escapes. A chariot into the sky. Medea comes back in other hero stories, and her trickery is almost like she's Darth Vader. She has become a darker person. Remember when she said she would give up her soul earlier in the story when she's been hit by Cupid's arrow? I'd give up this knowledge. I would give up my soul. I think she kind of has. The opposite of love is not hate, but indifference. And Medea is not indifferent at the end. Good luck on the test today. After you finish, I'm requesting that you read Atalanta before I see you Tuesday. It's a very short chapter about a hero. Those who have had Greek mythology, you may have already read it. We're doing a little review with it one more time because it's short, 2.5 pages. And we got to acknowledge a woman hero as we balance out our male heroes. See you later. I'll be back Tuesday.